Hey everyone, welcome to All About the Joy. This is Culture and Consequence with Carmen and Andrea. Hey Andrea, how you doing?
Hey girl.
Sorry, I have to be a little fake and pretend we're just coming online. How you doing? We missed you.
Well, you know what? You guys did a great job. I watched it the other day and I was like, she don't need me. Look at that.
Oh, we need you. We always need you.
It was a great show, I thought.
It was a great show, right? And it's a little bit evergreen, I think.
I was like, me and Billy.
Oh man. You know what? Here's the thing. You and him should just do the show without me. As long as I get like any income that may come from it in the future, I'm totally okay with walking away.
It would just be like me and him going, exactly. Yes. Fucking A, right. Like
there would be no show. No. But welcome back. I missed you. And I do love Billy, and I think that was fun. And I think next week, I'm not going to mention exactly what's happening next week, but I think that'll be fun too.
Yes.
If that works out. So, because that'll be a little bit different than the norm as well. So, all right. Well, it's so funny. I sent you a list of things we should talk about, and somehow I bypassed the entire war.
Carmen, it's a military action.
Right?
Let's be precise. Yes, there are bombs and missiles and drones and AI guided, targets, including schools with small children.
Yeah.
But it is a military action.
Right. And people in the United States, the military, we've had deaths, and we've had many deaths on the Iranian side. But again, military action. Right.
So, yeah. Let's not forget the military action also happening now in Ecuador with troops on the ground. So we're taking it. We're like Mr. Worldwide over here.
I just, I didn't really look into this, but it was, as I was sitting here kind of thinking about what we're going to talk about in the show, what is the point of the 25th Amendment if we're not ever going to use it? Isn't it the 25th Amendment that would remove a psycho from office?
Well, you have to have a cabinet with people of integrity, which,
right.
Like when the adults were in the room during the first administration, we didn't have that. At this point now, look at who we've got in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Kristi Noem and the fucking defense guy with the tattoos and, there's nobody there.
I'm sorry, Andrea, I need to correct you. Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of War, right? He's not the Secretary of Defense. Can you imagine, even these little pathetic things, like the Gulf of America, duh, all these stupid, they're just all imbeciles. They're all incompetent imbeciles.
It's all just indicative of, smallness.
Small dick I'll say it's small dick energy.
Well, I mean, yes, that, but just like a smallness of character, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Pete Hegseth.
Well, I mean, yes, for sure. There's that going on 100%. But overall, it's like I feel so small and insecure in myself that I have to rage out and do these small petty things that I know are going to trigger the libs and, whatever.
Yeah. Somebody just wrote that on a YouTube comment on a video that I posted. They were saying all the right things. And then they were like, but hopefully you won't fall into that, lefty lib. And I'm like, I can't even deal with these comments. Being a lefty lib right now is where you want to be. I'm just saying, that's where the cool people are right now. I'm sorry. I don't even know why you think that's a diss.
If you care anything about humanity at this point, you are a lefty lib.
You're a lefty lib, and you're so totally fucking woke beyond measure. I just don't get it.
Okay, I don't know.
Look, if you've lost Nick Fuentes, right? I sent you that fucking idiot who I would never promote, and I'm not promoting him. He's a fucking idiot. But they've lost him. How can
Well,
you keep...
okay, so here's my take on that. Like,
All right,
it's
go
a
ahead.
grift, obviously, right? But you have to look at, like, I don't think there is some change in ideology or he's come to Jesus or anything. But if you look,
sorry, that saying of come to Jesus doesn't work anymore the way you think it does. But go ahead.
Whatever, you know what I mean. But like, it's clear that there's a shift such that, like, it's all about money, right? Like, those people are all about, where can I get my money?
Right.
And so far it's been like, triggering people into anger and rage baiting and whatever. There's a shift now such that he has to side with Dems and lefties and libs in order to make his money, right? Like, this regime is so fucking unpopular, is so evil, is doing so many things that are just beyond the pale, that the grifters now are seeing, like, I've got to shift.
That's right.
That's where we're at.
No, and you know what? I totally believe that all those podcast bros, that are the reason why this man is back in office again. I mean, there are a lot of reasons, but this kind of, it is the grift. It is the continual manipulation of the American people and giving people false reasons to be angry and hateful of Black and brown people or trans people or anybody that they can, pigeonhole or whatever that word is, like, to make them the bad boogie guy, the
cat ladies. I mean, like,
the what?
The cat ladies, right?
Yeah, the cat, whatever it is. Like, I just, like, they totally turned around and manipulated you. And the thing that kills me, Andrea, it's the people that keep doubling down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, whatever. Okay. So the war with Iran, I'm sorry. What are we calling it? The military?
It's a military action, Carmen.
The military action. Yeah. That's, I don't really have much more to say about it, because here's the truth about it. First of all, we all know we shouldn't be there. I mean, even Trump supporters know we shouldn't be there. But I don't even know enough about the politics of Iran to speak on it brilliantly enough to explain why. I'm just being honest, and I'm sharing that because it's okay not to understand everything that's going on. Like, I think that's the other part of this too. Like, I am so sick and tired of hearing people talking on shit and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
100%. I mean, I would say, not to throw it out, like, you and I are pretty informed, right? Like, we read and whatnot. Like,
we read. It's so sad. Like, that's a qualification now. We read.
We read. But I mean, like, I think we do our best to try to stay informed about what's happening, right?
Yeah.
And to try to be critical in understanding it, right?
Yes.
And like you, I really don't know shit about Iran. I don't. Like, I have kind of a really basic understanding of some history of our involvement there, going back to, like, the 50s. But that's about it, truly.
Right.
And so to hear other people suddenly become experts, these are the people who were experts in, like, public health and other things, like, the expertise just, like, rolls into them. I don't even understand. It's like, so to hear other people sort of spout off about it is like, maybe slow your roll and read a book. I don't know.
Read a book. Read something. Yeah, I think that's kind of also, like, I've stepped away from people. It's not even a laziness. It's so disingenuous, right? It's not even that they're lazy that bothers me. It's just, I don't know, just spewing hatred and spewing, all of this performative Donald Trump, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, I can't even deal with it anymore. And so I feel, anyways, I don't know enough about Iran. And when I say that, I also know that means most likely no one in his cabinet, along with him, probably understand the ramifications. Like, I feel very comfortable. And I said this with Billy last week. The reason why I know we're in trouble is because I am absolutely 100% sure I would do a better job of running any one of these departments. I know I would, than anybody who's in office right now.
I run my kitchen better than these folks are running the Department of Defense, the Department of Education, fucking DHS. I mean, like, come on.
DHS.
Come on.
Oh my God. Yeah. So we're in a bit of a situation. So we'll just say that. Let's talk about Texas turning blue, because that has never been talked about before. But were you paying attention at all to I forget James Talarico and Jasmine Crockett?
No, I'll be honest. I knew that it was happening, but I wasn't not like, that's all I know about it.
Yeah. So James Talarico won the primary, and I have to say I was kind of bummed. I like it. Look, this is how our country should run. We should have the best of the best competing against each other. Great quality, well-informed, amazing human beings where you don't know who to choose because they're so amazing, you know? Yeah. So I was really bummed because I really like Jasmine Crockett a lot, you know? But the really cool thing was of course, because they're both professionals, they're both brilliant. When James Talarico won and he gave his acceptance speech the following day, of course, he was like, I want to earn your vote, those people that voted for Jasmine Crockett, my colleague. Like there was this animosity and hatred. And it was like, you know, they're going to work together and she also put out a statement and also said she had called him and they're going to work together. I missed that. Like, I loved that. And when I was watching him, because at first I was like, man, I wish he didn't win. By the time his speech was over, I was like, oh, I love him. And I'm just so glad. I mean, I had nothing to do with voting in Texas, but you know, just these two, I missed that kind of politics, you know?
Well, it's a level of civility and professionalism that is, you know,
missing,
sadly, like sort of out the window lately, you know, because when it happens, it feels so like, oh my God, look what they did. And it's like, that's actually the way it's supposed to work.
I know.
We're actually supposed to, as you said, be choosing from the best of the best.
Yeah.
Right. And then in a democracy, when you lose,
you are gracious.
You're gracious about, well, not even just gracious, but like you accept it.
Oh, yeah, right.
And you support the person who did win because that's what's good for the people and the country.
Well, but that would be that you care about the people in the country. So it wouldn't be about your ego and the fact that, again, we go back to that, you know, I keep saying small dick energy, but, you know, just not being able, I mean, Donald Trump is still trying to relitigate the 2020 election that he lost, you know, but here's the thing. The reason why the Texas thing is actually more important is because, and you probably didn't see this at all, but Jasmine Crockett, a lot of the voters that were going out to vote in the midst of it were told that they couldn't vote at the place they thought they could go vote at. And they had to be, I mean, and so here's the thing. I think that's a microcosm of what we're going to see in this upcoming election for 100%, sure.
100%. And I think that's, for me, like, honestly, I don't think Texas is turning blue, but
I don't either. I
think that is the takeaway is they're going to make it as hard as possible for you to cast your vote.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to figure out your plan and make sure that your vote, that you get to vote, that your vote gets counted. I mean, I know it's going to be work, but that's what people need to do. We need to be
Here's the thing. They were also doing slimy things like sending out mailers, you know, information to people, telling them to vote on a different day if they were Democrats. That was not the day to vote. I'm like, that's fucking lame. Like, I don't care what you believe. The idea that you're going to cheat on that level, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what makes me so sad. So about the Texas thing, that's what I thought was actually the bigger news item that people didn't talk about was.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So I look at John Cornyn is say what you want about the man, but the fact that he is going against a man, like he's the Republican in Texas, and they didn't have a 51% whatever, so they have to do another runoff, and it's going to be 2 months and more money spent. But the guy he's running against, whose name I don't even know, I'm like, what's his name? Paxton. Isn't he like a bad guy, like a criminal? And
yes, he is. I think he was the attorney general there, and there were some. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I remember that at some point he probably should have been in jail, but for whatever reason was not. So yeah.
I mean, but this is what happens when we have someone like Donald Trump who becomes president, even though he's been convicted. And you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of the whole.
It's debased us all.
All right. Well, we've covered everything.
Okay, so speaking of being debased, I've been thinking about this a lot over the last week so I thought I would bring it up here because.
Should we explain what debased means in case someone doesn't know?
Use a dictionary, please. No, we shouldn't explain it.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I am in a dark place right now, and I want to explain to you, like, I mean, I understand, like, you know, we're all sort of in a dark place, but like, you know, I've been there for a while, but like a couple of things, you know, over the last week, I'm just going to bring up this one that I happened to see yesterday was Congresswoman Lucy McBath was questioning Kristi Noem. And she was describing the conditions at one of the concentration camps and saying, like, you know, this person, this man, I unfortunately can't remember his name, but, you know, he had to, in her words, crawl over feces and mold and, you know, human fluids, which I don't even want to know what that means, in order to take a shower, right? He had to go through all of that to take a shower. And, you know, Noam is saying, like, all of our facilities are up to the highest standards and blah, blah, blah. And I just was thinking, like, this is what I want for them. Like, I want these people in, like, alligator Alcatraz and sea cod and, like, you know, and then I was like, actually, I am in a place right now where I want worse. Like, I actually want to see them suffer. Like, a prison is not enough because I want to see the suffering.
Okay, you have to be clear because I know you're emotional right now, but you mean you want to see Kristi Noem, you want to see Pam Bondi, Donald Trump.
Yes, like everybody involved with this administration, I want what they are subjecting other people to happen to them. And that is troubling to me because that's not who I am. If you ask me, do you want to see people tortured? I would say no. And I'm like, only just a little bit kidding. Like so I am starting to feel this sense of debasement of my own ethics where, like, I want, like, this level of evil is so sickening to me that, like, I want the vengeance and I want, you know, revenge. like medieval capital punishment. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm talking about. And, you know, I am, like, anti-capital punishment. So, like, I bring this up because it's been troubling me, but also because I would imagine maybe some other people feel this way. Like, it's seeping into who I am. And that sucks. And I don't know what to do with that. I'll just put it out there.
I think it's normal to feel the way you're feeling. I'm putting on my therapist hat now, but I do. I really do think it's normal. I think the difference, Andrea, is that even though your anger is going there and you know that that's what you want to see them suffer for the pain that they're doing to other people, at the end of the day, you would never do it. You would never actually do it. You would never... and I think that's where the difference is. Yeah. Whereas, and I'm going to throw it this way, people believed Donald Trump, voted for Donald Trump, and then watched people, human beings, being dragged by ICE, being thrown into cars, being treated like crap, people being shot by ICE, and cheering that shit on. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. Whereas we were incensed. Like I know what you're saying. I want Donald Trump, like people keep saying like, oh, I hope he dies in office. It's going to happen tomorrow. They won't say the die word because it gets you off of social media or whatever, but that's what they're saying. And I'm like, oh, hell to the no. I want him to live through a ripe old age of like 102 with all of his sensibilities as he has them today and be in prison. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I want him to have to suffer the same injustice, exactly what you're saying. But more important to me, this is where I'm a little bit different. I don't give a fuck about that man, but all the enablers. All the Republican people, like for me, what you're feeling about those dumbasses, I feel about the Republicans who should know better and have allowed this to happen. Like I want to see them.
I include all of them in this. I include all of them.
Okay. Then there's no therapy to be had because I'm on the same page, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think it's a hard time. I think we have to walk through it the way we walk through it. But I think the real thing that differentiates us is that we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't actually put Kristi Noem in a concentration camp where she'd have to walk through feces or whatever. And, like there was a picture of women in one of the concentration camps. They were all like lined up trying to sleep, right? Or whatever. And they're wearing diapers because there's no tampons and no maxi pads or whatever they're called, like all of I make it sound like I've never used them. It's been a minute. But there's no hygiene things for women, sanitary napkins for women to be using when they have their period. And it's an actual picture that somebody took that should not have taken it, but they took it. And so, and look, fuck the standards. This fucking bitch is saying that it's up to, no, we don't house people in warehouses, in concentration camps. That's not who we are. We're not Nazis. And clearly, and people get all upset. This isn't that. It's not, it's this. This is the exact same thing. The exact same thing. We're doing the exact same thing. You might not like that it is attached to Hitler and Germany, but this is exactly the same motherfucking thing. We're taking human beings that we believe are less than us or don't deserve to be here or have done something wrong by just merely fucking existing and wanting a better life. And because of our system of not knowing how to fucking make immigration an easier thing or a better thing, we've now housed people, human beings, in warehouses where they're sleeping like animals. That is Nazi Germany. That is what happened. And I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And still, at the end of the motherfucking day, I would never allow any human being to be tortured in that way, because that's not who I am. And that is not what the United States of America ever should be. But we've done it before. Right? Let's not forget about the Japanese and the internment camps, right? Let's not forget what we've done to the Tuskegee Airmen. Let's not forget what we've done with slavery. Like, this is the fucking history of our country, people. And we're reliving it again because fucking people don't want to wake the fuck up. I'm sorry. Did I just go a little too off there?
Thanks for talking me off the ledge, Carmen.
I'm happy to be of service, Andrea.
I'm in a dark place. Okay, now there's no light whatsoever. Thanks.
I know. I'm so sorry. I don't know what just happened.
No, that's it, right? Like, there's rage. There's actual rage that I feel. And like, there is, I'm just owning up to that dark part of me that's like, fuck yeah, I want to see these people tortured. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Maybe what you have to do is just let it out. I feel better.
Listen, I think that's also part of it too, right? We're trying so hard to keep believing in the humanity of who we are, and then we keep seeing evidence to the contrary. I mean, that's kind of what keeps happening.
I think, you know, we've we try to hold on to these like points of light, you know, people who are doing good things and showing that humanity. But and those are important. I don't want to say but, you know, and there is a relentless onslaught of
every day
bullshit, of hate and torture and evil. I mean, I don't use the word evil, but this is fucking evil.
This is evil. Yeah. Yeah. And now that I feel like he's using the military as a toy. Like they think this is fun or interesting or okay to do, to go to war and just keep bombing. I feel like they're just bombing places to bomb them, right? Remember, it started off with all of the boats that were like the whole Venezuela thing, like any boat, they were just bombing them. And I'm like, when did we become so callous? Like just so, another word people need to look up. You know, like when did we become these people who like just, again, I hate Donald Trump with an absolute passion every day, every single day. And I do think part of the problem that's happening with a lot of people who are Democrats, left-leaning, liberals, woke people, whatever the fuck you want to call the people who are correct in this scenario, is that we don't know what to do with all that rage. It doesn't matter how much we try to protest or we do whatever, but we have to keep doing it. We have to keep doing it. You know, we have to keep doing what we need to do to get past this. And we have to figure out ways to make sure we vote in November because they're going to do everything they can. And it's weird, all while trying to enrich themselves with billions of dollars, scamming the American people, making people hate each other and think that the real problem, like we've talked about this before, is like each other and not the billionaires who are just, Donald Trump is a billionaire from just this year being in office.
Yeah, that man did not have that much money before he became president the first time.
He didn't.
This is all about enriching himself
and his
primarily, and all of the people around him who will be beholden to him for him enriching them.
Can you imagine, what's that guy's name, Kash Patel, who went to the hockey, whatever?
Yeah.
I'm like, that would have been a huge scandal. He would have resigned if it was anyone else, you know, that went to the hockey game at the Olympics, thousands and thousands of American dollars to take you know what? It's just,
it's hard because you want to call these things out, but it's also like there is a new one every fucking hour. This is all we would do.
Yeah. How do we fix it? Andrea, how do we fix it all? Can you just answer that question, please?
Yeah. I don't know. I saw something really briefly this morning, and I truly don't know if this is the answer, but I thought it was interesting, and I have no idea who it was, but it was a woman. I think she was on TikTok. I don't know. Anyway, she was saying that she feels like the sort of grift and the hypocrisy and all of that is so strong that the pendulum swing will be towards like earnestness and kindness, you know. I mean, if you look at, I think she was specifically talking about Talarico. Is that his name?
James Talarico. Yeah. I mean, that is kind of the theory.
And Mondami, you know what I mean? Like she was just saying like people are responding to that. People are longing for that. And maybe that's the shift. So maybe like I hate to be this person because it's kind of not me, but like, maybe we all just need to be more kind. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I do feel like we have to somehow desire and elevate honesty and integrity and you know, those kinds of things that are actually truly important to us.
Yeah, I think so what I'm upset about is I don't want the pendulum to be the thing, right? I mean, I get it. It's the idea that, you know, once something is so extreme this way, it inevitably has to go back to the other way. And that's kind of the idea. It's the pendulum for those people who don't know. But for me, it feels like we as human beings should be more invested in doing the right thing all the time, right? We should always be invested in trying to be the best we can be. And I think I think she's right, but for me, that's not good enough. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be because we've had such an extreme of pain. Now we're going to go the other way, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because it is about James Talarico and Jasmine Crockett to a certain extent, this idea that she's she's very like in your face, da 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 da. And people are like, you know what? We don't want that anymore because we're getting that so much. But no, but she's right. She's just coming from a place of fire, right? It's kind of like the Gavin Newsom thing versus the Pritzker thing, right? Kind of people want to go back to a thing of where we just have civility and kindness or whatever. And what I'm saying is those people have been fighting this all along. They have been fighting this since day one. And I wish we were more fired up about being good and right and decent. And that it wouldn't be about the pendulum. But I do think she's right. I think, does that make sense?
I think that there are a lot of people who have been fired up, for a long time, for sure.
Yeah, but now people are going again, like people don't want that anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I see that, but I mean, look, whatever you want to call it, cycle, pendulum, whatever, like that is just the way that it is, right? There will be a cycle where we move through this and, hopefully sooner rather than later, I
know the thing that I'm pushing back on is the cycle part, right? Is because then it's like inevitable that we have to go through so much pain in order to feel so much okayness. And I'm saying as human beings, we can actually live in a place where there's actually more joy on a regular basis when we're actually doing the right thing and not being motherfucking manipulated on a regular basis. What?
I said one would hope that we can get there.
Right. But I mean, I see what you're saying, but to me, I'm just I guess I'm just going all in the weeds right now. I'm just so disappointed in the United States, the human beings of the United States, red states. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like if, at this point, how, just being manipulated to begin with. Okay, whatever. You get into the cult. Okay, whatever. But you're now hurting. and some people are still doubling down, and it's pretty interesting. I will say this. I talked about this a little bit on the show with Billy, is it's interesting to watch people who were Trump supporters who have now turned the corner a little bit, trying to, and there's different ways to do it. One of the ways is not to go on TikTok and talk about that you've seen the light, because everyone and their mother is going to come down hard on you. But it's interesting to watch that happen too. Like just people who are like, I'm just going to keep my mouth motherfucking shut. It's probably best advice.
Yes.
And make sure you go out and vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of touched on this before. Like we don't need your pronouncement. Okay. Like, zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket and go do some work. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Nobody needs to hear about your come to Jesus.
I know, right? It's a tough one though. And look I was trying to think of a time when maybe I did something so wrong that I had to kind of, save face and come back. And the problem is anything that I did that was so wrong didn't actually torture or kill other people. So I just
pretty much only affected me.
Exactly. It really only like I lost my job or something. You know what I mean?
I suffered from my stupidity.
Right. My actions didn't affect thousands of other people, human beings. You know what I mean? So, and again, I'm not trying to be mean, but there is a little part of me that means like you have to get your fucking due. You got to take. You can apologize. You can say you did the wrong thing. You can admit that it was a mistake, but then be ready to hear some people be a little pissed off about it. You're like, that's part of it. You got to take the hits now. You got to be able to take it and be like, all right, this is my punishment for the mistake I made. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's how it works.
That and have some contrition and be focused on how you're going to do better.
Yeah. Seriously, if it was me, I would be like, you know what? Fuck Donald Trump. I've been saying that under my breath the whole time. Nobody knows how you voted. Lie your ass off. You've been doing it the whole time. You know, just flip it now. I don't know why. It's really interesting to watch some of the people. I think people have stopped doing it because they're just getting roasted. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just trying to think of what would I want to hear from a 3-time Donald Trump voter? I mean, and the answer to that is absolutely fucking nothing. But, if I did have to hear from them, I guess I would want to hear them talk about what they've learned, right? What have you learned here? And what are you going to do with that?
Well, I think sadly, it's not about, at least not at the moment, it's not about what they've learned. It's about now it's affecting them personally.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to hear that because I don't think they learned anything.
Right.
But that's the only thing that I would want to hear is like, I thought this and now I see the light. And now I understand I was misled. I was, whatever. I had these thoughts in my head. Like, I want to hear that. I don't think any of them are saying that or, have
maybe
in a place of that learning.
I think some will get there. I still have faith in the American United States people. I do.
She said so strongly.
There was a time I really said it strongly. It really does make me sad. Like, it just really
trailed off.
I know, I'm all like, but I still have faith a little bit. I think for me, it's, listen, when we told you were misogynistic or you were racist or, and you got defensive about it because you don't want to hear those words. I think for me, it's for you to actually understand what it means to be racist and to be misogynistic. Doesn't mean that you have to be a bad person. When you reject it, you become a bad person. But if you could actually do the work and be like, how is it that I was misogynist? I don't even know what that means exactly. Like, what did I do as a person to come across as racist or misogynistic? When you start doing that work, when you start understanding what that means for you, we can actually move forward. And it's kind of like the thing with racism. People get so offended to be called racist. And it's because you won't let it settle to understand what it means. And again, it goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning. Like, we don't know our own history. We don't know our own history. And it's because as a country, we have decided that what happens to Black and brown and Japanese, Asian people and whatever is not as important as we won, we win, we are this, we are that. And only white people get to be the story told. And that's not true. It's not true. And it's not all bad for white folk. It's not all bad, but it's not all good either, right? It's like, but if we could embrace our real history, the amount of power we would have as a people would be ridiculous.
It's not all bad or all good for anybody.
Anybody in the world.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I can point to a lot of Latino, leaders and folks, who did not do right by their people. Like, they're all over the place, right?
Yep.
And it's just like you said, it's like the power in embracing all of who you are, all of your history, and learning from that, looking at that and being like, okay, what happened here? How can we be better?
Exactly. And if you know anything about South Africa and apartheid, I think that's when I started understanding the intricacies of learning about the full history of a country and what it means for a people, right? And like the whole Nelson Mandela thing and de Klerk. And this is like, and I know I'm talking to a very different audience, but I'm just saying it's kind of that same thing. If we could you can look at Nazi Germany, but everybody's so touchy-feely about it. But Germany is a much more powerful, insane people because they didn't turn around and say, nope, that didn't happen. You know what I mean? They didn't.
You know what you're talking about.
What? I had nothing to do with that. I wasn't here back then. That's not me. That's not what Germany, the country, has done. And it's like, for some reason in the United States, we're just having a difficult time of it. And I'm going to say it over and over again. It's because we don't know our history that we are in this situation today. Yeah. Wow.
Watch those history documentaries, people.
or read them.
Definitely. First choice, read. Second choice, get yourself on, some.
Right. Or you can watch them. Look, here's the great thing. Next week, hopefully, we're going to have a great guest on the show, and I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see if that might help some people.
Super excited. I'm fangirling about it.
I know. I'm fangirling about it too, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And, I don't know, let's keep our spirits up. I think, are you okay, Andrea? Do you feel better now that we've had our therapy session?
I've released.
You released. Thanks, everyone. And remember, at the end of the day, it really is all about the joy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
That was funny. Thanks for stopping by. All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.